Hi, this is Eric with liveandlight.net and mobilemusthave.com, and today we've got our full-time internet bundle. Okay, so we've got everything here that is included in our full-time bundle, and in this video we'll go through what each of these components do and what this bundle is best used for. So why do we call it the full-time bundle? Well, we could have called it like the For Every RVer bundle or something like that, but full-timer just sounded better. This is like our flagship product that for the most part is a general fit for the vast majority of our customers. It does a lot of stuff, has a nice middle-of-the-road price point, and works for the vast majority of our customers. This bundle was developed and designed to solve the biggest question or need that the core of our customers wanted to do with mobile internet, which is they wanted to be able to get online, they wanted to be able to have it work mostly like home internet, and they didn't want to be technology experts and they didn't want to think about the technology. They wanted to get on with their trip or their vacation and have this be an extension of that, allowing them to continue to stay connected to the outside world. As such, the full-time bundle was developed to do that for the most part. Now, there's nothing on the market that's going to work exactly like home internet because we don't have a wire coming in from the telephone or cable company. But this is currently one of the best answers we have for folks who are not looking to be techies, as I said before, but just want the internet to work. So let's get into what all of this stuff does. So this is the heart of our system. This is our Pepwave Max BR1 MK2 mobile cellular router. It has the ability to use multiple internet sources to connect you to the internet. And as you can see, that's metal, military grade hardware designed to just work. We've got some antennas here that come with the equipment, a 110 volt power adapter if you want to run it on shore power or bring it inside to a cabin after you get your RV to a particular destination. You want to bring this with you. 12 volt power cable, which is exclusive to Mobile Must Have. This allows you to wire the unit directly into your house batteries. A GPS antenna here that acts a lot like low jack would. We'll explain that a little bit in a minute. And a roof antenna that has 5 antennas all in this one housing. We'll talk about that more as well. One of the biggest complaints we hear from customers that are coming from little MiFi hotspot devices, besides the fact that they don't always get very good signal, is that they have to reboot them all the time. The reason for that usually is because the components inside of it are designed to not be on 24 hours a day. They're also not designed to support a lot of devices. When you add up your computers, your phones, your smart TVs, and all of the other smart things that you might be traveling with, you'd be surprised how many devices you have. On average, we see it's about 20 to 35 or so devices in the average full-timer's arsenal. This Pepwave device is designed for up to 60 devices, and quite frankly, we've had it run over 100 devices without an issue. Because of that military-grade hardware that's designed for police, ambulance, and fire, and yes, is also used by military, it is absolutely built to not have to be rebooted and messed with a lot. It's just designed to work. Geeking out for a second, we're going to give you an overview of the Pepwave mobile router here and all of the different ports that are included on it. On this front side here, we've got our Wi-Fi A and B ports. Now this is not for cellular, these are Wi-Fi, so this is broadcasting locally inside of your RV to give you a private, secure Wi-Fi network. This modem supports 2 gigahertz, which is a longer range Wi-Fi, and 5 gigahertz, which is a slightly shorter range but faster Wi-Fi. And it is dual channel, meaning it can support more devices. Moving on a little bit, this green terminal port here, if you pull on it, is actually the plug for your 12 volt power input. And it is labeled there with a negative and a positive for your 12 volt power in. That works in conjunction with this cable that we include. And at the top of this green port, there are small screwdriver inlets for an eyeglass screwdriver to tighten down the connectors to give yourself 12 volt power, but still retain the ability to unplug and plug it back in if you want to take it on the go without having to use that screwdriver. We've got a single LAN port here. LAN is for local area network or for connecting your computer to the wired internet that this will provide if you don't want to run it on wireless. If you've got a desktop computer or a laptop, using a wired connection typically is more reliable. So if you're doing voice over IP calling or you're working from the road, that's a great way to wire in that computer. This port over here is a WAN port. So if you do come across a campground or you're going home and you want to use a cable modem or another wired internet connection, DSL, whatever, you can plug it into this WAN port. If you don't foresee yourself ever using any wired internet, like a lot of us people on the road don't, this can be reassigned to a second LAN port so you can connect more wired devices to this unit. A lot of flexibility. It's just a simple checkbox in the administrative console. Over here we've got our power port, our standard barrel connector with 12-volt power. It goes right there. This unit will accept anywhere from 10 to 30 volts DC. So if you have done a 24-volt solar setup, you can run this device on that 24-volt system without issue. If you have a 48-volt solar system, take a look at our Speed Demon and Ultimate Road Warrior bundles because those will run at higher voltage. But sticking with this one, flipping us around to the other side, we've got 3 more ports for antennas. These 2 out here are our cellular antenna ports, and this one in the middle is for GPS. Now, underneath this cover here is where we have our ports for SIM cards. SIM cards like what you get from AT&T, Verizon, T-Mobile, Sprint, all those guys. Every single internet device typically will have a SIM card inside of it. And this device takes what are called 2FF or full-size SIM cards. This is one from AT&T. What's nice about this modem is it is carrier agnostic, meaning it will run on just about any carrier. You can run it on AT&T, Verizon, Sprint, T-Mobile, Cricket, Visible. We've had them running on Google Fi, just about anything you can think of. This is a Category 6 modem, so it has a max download speed of 300 megabits per second, so it's pretty fast, and an upload speed of 50 megabits per second. So this will get the job done. To give you kind of a reality check on bandwidth download speeds, if you want to stream like a nice Netflix movie, that'll use around 4 to 5 megabits. So having more than that, like 300 as your max, is plenty. It's not gonna, I'm not telling you that you're gonna get 300, but that's not because of the modem, that's because of the cellular companies and what they're willing to give you because you're sharing it with everybody else. Now, the industry average is around, for this modem, we typically see folks get anywhere from 12 in very saturated areas, sometimes a little lower if it's a tower issue, all the way up to 60, 70, 80. Plenty for Netflix and doing just about anything you want to do on the internet while traveling. You've got 2 SIM card slots here. Very, very flexible. So I can load up an AT&T SIM here, press that in, it'll click and lock, and then I could just imagine that this is, say, a Verizon SIM, flip that over, press that in, click and lock, load a second carrier into the SIM B slot. So that means that from your administration page, you can actually switch between multiple carriers. It takes about 30 seconds. So a lot of folks will pick up a high capacity data plan from one of the carriers, maybe a 100 gig plan or one of our high data limit plans on our store, pop that in SIM A, and then a more limited, less expensive, say Verizon SIM in SIM B to use for emergencies. Maybe they only get 15 gigs or 20 gigs on that secondary SIM, but they have both. So if they go into a coverage area where, say, AT&T or T-Mobile doesn't work, they can just flip over to their Verizon SIM. The flexibility of those dual SIMs is one of the reasons why our products are so popular. Another key benefit of our system over most of our competitor systems is that all of our sensitive electronics are inside of your coach, including where you install your SIM cards. If you look at some of our competitive products, they're sticking all of the guts of their technology outside, up on the roof, and exposed to the elements. So they're sitting there baking in the sun, they're sitting there exposed to water, snow, and everything else, and they have, in my opinion, a pretty high failure rate as a result. Why did they do that? It's very simple. It's so that you could run a simple 12-volt wire down to the regular 12-volt power for the manufacturer to have an easy installation. It's cheaper for them. It's not necessarily, in our opinion, the right way to do it. By installing an antenna on the roof that has electronics in it, but nothing that requires power, it's like a regular antenna, like your car antenna has, that's been, time tested for quite a few years, and then running that down with a wire bundle and keeping your sensitive electronics inside your coach. That's going to cut down on problems in the future. Okay, so let's kind of discuss all of the accessories here. We're going to take this roof antenna here and move it off to the side and talk about that in a minute. Now, a lot of our customers are intimidated by the roof antenna concept and the idea of drilling a hole in the roof. Don't worry, we'll explain how that works, but before we even talk about that, you can get yourself online and get moving with a better internet solution without installing the roof antenna on day one. We'll explain how that works. So included in this kit, you have these paddle antennas. We kind of call them stubby antennas. These wider ones will go on your cellular ports. Doesn't matter which ones you pick, cellular A and B. They'll just screw right into the cell ports. And then they have the ability to be angled up. Typically, I recommend to folks to position them like that, so that one's facing that way and one's that way. And then your Wi-Fi antennas will go here. Now these antennas are 2 decibel gain antennas. That doesn't sound like a lot, but in the world of cellular, 2 decibels is almost 75 to 100% more signal strength. So simply by adding these antennas, you are giving yourself a serious advantage over a MiFi device or using your phone as a hotspot device. These antennas are going to give you a lot more coverage with your cellular network, and these antennas are going to give you a lot more distance that you can transmit that local Wi-Fi right out of the box. Now, because the device wasn't designed to run on a little tiny battery like your phone, the transmitters and the receivers on the cellular and the Wi-Fi side are also more powerful than you'll find in a MiFi hotspot or a phone. That's a big reason why people turn these on and just say, wow, I'm getting 3 bars or 4 bars where on my phone I only have 2. A lot of that's because of the transmission power in this unit, and a lot of it's because of the 2 decibel gain antennas. You're also getting a much better piece of software running in here and better quality components with that metal unit there that is designed and developed to be in commercial use applications. So it's going to just run better. The GPS antenna here is optional. If you do install it, you can view the location of your vehicle on the secure cloud-based InControl website. You can disable that with just a little drag and drop in the admin console if you don't want to use it, or simply just don't connect the antenna and you'll be fine. It won't create any errors or cause any problems, but it is there and available if you want to use it. The addition of these stubby antennas included with the kit also means that if you do permanently install this in an RV, you can take it on the go with you if you'd like and just grab these antennas rather than having to deal with this big roof antenna. Now let's discuss the roof antenna. And again, you don't need to install it on day one, but it's a game changer once you get it installed. So we'll talk about kind of how that works. We'll talk about the installation in a second. We'll start with just a high-level overview. The antenna has 5 antennas in one, as I discussed, and it is an omnidirectional antenna. Even though it looks kind of shark finny, it is not a directional antenna, so you can install it pretty much in any direction you want on the roof. Best practices, stay a minimum of 18 inches away from any air conditioner motors or anything that might create interference, and if possible, try to elevate it above any rails on your roof, although that is not necessarily required. It can just increase your cellular signal if that is something that you can do. A lot of folks will purchase a junction box and install that and then put the antenna on top of it if they have a a higher end RV that has a rail system or an integrated Girard awning or something like that. Again, not required, but it can help with your cell signal. Moving on to the antenna, if you look here on the bottom, we've got a channel out the back here. These wires can be relocated to come out the back of the antenna here. All the equipment that's necessary to do that is included, or you can have it come straight down using the spigot mount here. A lot of folks worry about this nut here, saying, how am I gonna, if I drill a hole in the roof, get to this nut and go up and attach it? You actually don't have to use that nut in most applications. It's provided there mostly for small, thin sheet metal roofs, like in a fire engine, or in a particular application where you had access to a metal roof, but you don't need to install that. You can simply unscrew that, run that off the bottom, and then use this, which is a dual adhesive mount, to hold down the antenna. Simply clean the roof with a nice solvent to get it nice and clean, and then this double-sided 3M tape here will hold the antenna in place without issue. For good measure, we typically recommend a bead of Dicor around, just to prevent any leaks, although we haven't heard of anyone having any problems. That's just something that does tend to add an additional layer of protection in addition to the adhesive mount. You may be wondering what these 6 holes are. These are for our optional magnet mount kit. You can add 6 magnets to this kit, have the wires run out the back, and have a more portable use case for this antenna. Just do away with the adhesive mount that you're not going to use, pop on those 6 magnets, run the wires out the back, and you're off to the races. Moving on to the antenna leads, it's pretty straightforward. We've got 5 antenna ports here, 2 for Wi-Fi, those are your green guys here, 2 purple for cellular, those are right here, and your 1 GPS. They hook up right to the modem ports, and you just match up the labels. It's not something you have to worry about. You know, well, there's 2 of these, is there an A and a B? Don't worry about it, you'll be absolutely fine. Before we wrap up on these connectors, I do want to mention these adapters that come with the antenna that are for Pepwave model series routers on the Wi-Fi connectors. The reason why they didn't simply just make the connectors attached to this is because certain model modems use what are called RPSMA and some use SMA. The pin in the middle is just reversed. So they give you the adapter so that you can connect it to a Pepwave, and you're future-proofed for if you ever move to a different model that uses the other option. To connect this up, it's very simple. You would just remove your Wi-Fi, which is the smaller antenna here, screw on that adapter, just like that, nice and easy. And then your green Wi-Fi ports from there will just screw right on, and you are done. The benefits of the roof antenna do not stop with cellular. You also have Wi-Fi antennas in here, as I mentioned before. So why do you need Wi-Fi antennas outside and up on the roof? Well, cellular is great, and it's typically the primary way you connect to the internet today in most mobile internet use applications. But there are times where you want to connect to campground Wi-Fi, and having an antenna outside and up on the roof is going to give you a much better shot of connecting to that Wi-Fi. A lot of folks think campground Wi-Fi is terrible, and it honestly is most of the time. But a lot of parks have invested money and time into their Wi-Fi to make it better. And part of the reason why people think it's still not that good is because they're connecting to it with those tiny little antennas built into their laptop screen. By putting your receiver up on the roof, you can connect to that campground Wi-Fi much further away and have a much better experience with Wi-Fi. Obviously, you also get the GPS antenna here. If you do decide to take advantage of the GPS, it'll be a bit more accurate because of the roof-mounted location. That pretty much does it for the overview video of our full-timer bundle. If you have any questions or concerns and you want to start up a chat on our website at mobilemusthave.com, you can do so in the bottom right-hand corner. You can also email us at any time at info@mobilemusthave.com, and myself or one of our team members will get back to you as soon as possible. Thanks so much, and have a great day.